Hey everyone, this is video 2 about the new soundboard here at Hope Fellowship, the Allen & Heath QU16. In this video, we're going to talk about how to get a microphone playing through the system. So I got a microphone here. We're going to talk about layers, and we're going to talk about mixed buses or auxiliaries, as they would have been called previously. Okay, so we've loaded our scene, our Hope Fellowship scene. All of the faders have gone back to 0. All of the gain for every channel is kind of at a normal, sort of an even volume. They're not actually, the gains aren't actually down all the way. So you can very easily get sound through the board. You'll notice that the 4 last faders here I have left those up in the scene that we recalled a minute ago, the Hope Fellowship scene. Those are going to be our wireless receiver channels. So channel 13, 14, 15, 16 are going to be coming from the wireless receivers. So that's why I left those up. So most of the sound that's going to be coming from the stage is going to be channels 1 through 12. So that's going to be that. So at the moment, I've got actually just a microphone here at the board. I've got it set input to channel 1 here on the board. So we're going to talk about how to get sound coming out of the board. So what I'm going to do is bring up the main fader here to about -5, let's say. And you'll notice as I'm talking perhaps that there's a little bit of signal coming through here. That's just very similar to the Yamaha board. So because the board is reset and all of the gains for every channel are reset, that means that there is signal coming through this. And if I talk into the microphone, you'll see that light up really nice and bright. So the easiest way to get sound to come out is just to unmute the channel, pull up your main fader, and pull up the mix fader for that channel. And you can hear my voice, hello, coming out of the mic. So now you've got this microphone, and you do have sound coming out of the system. But let's say you want to tweak this microphone or tweak this input or tweak Mike's channel. What we're going to do is every channel has got this green select button. See that there? And what that's going to do is when you press it, it's going to route this channel through this area up here. You see this kind of section? So this area has got a bunch of really neat functions, the most important of which is this preamp area. And that's where our gain section is. And so on the other board, right, we had 16 channels across, and every channel had EQ and pan settings all in a line there, and it had the gain at the top, or sometimes it's called trim on other soundboards. In this soundboard, there's one gain knob, and whichever channel is selected with these select buttons, that's the channel that this gain knob is affecting. So again, if I press select, and I'm going to actually go over here and I'm going to press processing, and you're going to see this screen change, and you're going to see some of the settings that we have or that the board has by default for these input channels. So when I press select, you'll see channel 1 has shown up, and that's what these knobs are affecting. If I press another select knob, we'll see channel 7, and there's channel 10, channel 13, right up there. So actually, there's a good example. Channel 13 is going to be that the pastor's mic, Mike's microphone. And when I pressed it, you'll see there's the input there, and you'll see there's actually a little bit of an EQ curve that I've already applied to Mike's microphone. And that gets loaded. Remember when we loaded the scene from here and we did the recall the Hope Fellowship scene, the EQ curve, I'll go back to processing, the EQ curve for this channel was loaded when I did that. So again, if you need to adjust the input gain, the gain for a channel, you got to press select, and then it's the gain knob here. So I want to briefly also talk about a couple of other things. So this Allen & Heath QU16 is a digital board as opposed to an analog board. And one of the advantages we have there, of course, you saw the faders moving around on their own. We talked about how we can route a channel and put it up here into this section. So that's another big feature of digital boards. You get compressors, and you get parametric equalizers, and you get a high pass filter, you get a noise gate, right, for every single channel, and that's a lot of power. Okay, we're going to briefly talk about mix buses. Because this is a digital board and it has digital faders or motorized faders, that gives us a lot of power to change those faders to be able to change whatever mix we'd like it to do. So by default, we're mixing the main left and right mix, right? So you've got your main fader for that mix, you've got the individual channels, and the faders, you know, whatever volume you have on the faders, that's the volume that gets sent to the main mix for that instrument. But what we can do is these buttons on the right-hand side, the mix select buttons, we can press them to change which mix we are wanting the faders to affect. So if we want to adjust the the monitor mix, say the first monitor mix, the stage monitor mix, we would press the mix 1 button. And you'll see the faders went down. And that's because we haven't actually really done much with the monitor mix at the moment. And then mix 2 and mix 3 and mix 4. But let's go back to that and we'll say, okay, now we've got a vocal on 1, we've got another vocal on 2, we've got a guitar on 6, and you know, keys are on 9. So those are the instruments. Now we're sending those instruments to the monitor mix. Oh, now we need to adjust something in the main mix. So now we'll go back to main mix, the LR. See how the fader's changed? Okay, now we're going to adjust the vocals and that guitar. We need to bring the keys up a little bit, and there's some bass there too. Oh, now the drummer needs something. So we're going to go to mix 2, and now the drummer needs a little bit more guitar. Say we'll adjust that, and then we'll go back to mix 1 because we need to bring down the guitar in mix 1 because the guitar player is needing too much guitar. So we'll bring him down, and then we'll go back to our main mix. And we might as well in this video also put out our little microphone instrument magnets. So we're going to put channel 13 as the handheld, channel 14 is the handheld and lapel. The headset mic, it's another headset mic. Our mains are here now. That's the main mix. What else we got? Audio video out. That's actually going to be mix 4. So you remember how we were using effects 2 before? Now we're going to use mix 4 for that. There's the lapel mic, Mike's lapel mic. The drum monitor mix is going to be mix 2. And monitors is going to be mix 1. Okay, I'd like to talk quickly about layers. So right now we're viewing the main left and right mix. We've got a little mix set up. We've got some vocals. We got maybe a guitar. We're not actually sending them to the front of house, so we'll unmute those channels because the band just got back up there. Okay, now the band's done, so we're going to mute. Let's pretend the band, so we're going to mute that. And now we need to turn on the computer to play a video that Mike's got in his sermon. So what we're going to do is use these layers here. So the bottom layer, see how that LED is on? Right now we're looking at channels 1 to 16 in the main mix. So if we need to get to the computer channel, we're going to press this layers button. And layers has ST1, ST2, ST3, and those stand for stereo 1, stereo 2, and stereo 3. So there's inputs on the board. 2 of them are on the back where the computer are coming in and the DVD player are coming in. And I actually have those labels here, so we're going to apply those here, DVD and computer. And so those are on this secondary layer, and that's how you get to those. So you see most of these are unmuted. Leave those unmuted because those are actually your mix, the same fader as what is the main fader when you press mix 1 and you're here. So that is the same as this. So we'll just leave those there. So, but here's your stereo ins. There's a third stereo in here, which is this little guy here. So you can use an 1/8 inch input cable. You can plug in an iPad or whatnot with that. So that's how you get to your computer input. And maybe I'll go and play something real quick. So I've started playing something from the computer, and you can see there's signal there, but we haven't actually played it. So I'm going to unmute it, and I'm going to pull the fader up. And we can hear music coming out of the front of house. Okay. And we're done, and we mute it, and we'll go back to our other channels, and by pressing the bottom of the layers. So that's layers to get to most of what your time is going to be spent here on your sort of regular channels and your wireless ones, and then you'll pop up here for the computer. And that's that. Hey guys, thanks for checking out these videos. Happy mixing. Wait, I forgot to tell you about this awesome getting started guide. I'm going to leave it here by the soundboard. It's actually not too thick, but it's just got some handy getting started information if you need it as a quick reference. Some schematics, layout of the back of the board, some marketing materials. Anyway, check it out.